Welcome on in. This is the first official episode of my podcast. All right, today we're going to be talking about the hero's journey and its effect on the writing process. So, here's to it. Drafting your story, the call to adventure. A draft is merely just a detailed brainstorm of your ideas. It's supposed to be messy, disorganized, and yes, even a bit awful. However, don't let this discourage you from writing. There is hope for you. The drafting stage is just your call to adventure. You have an amazing idea, and now it's time to do something with it. One of the most important attributes of any successful author is the ability to keep writing in the face of opposition. In other words, when people tell you that your writing is trash, get up and turn around and recycle that trash. And if honestly people tell you that your writing is trash, then they need to figure out how to learn from it. Maybe it is trash right now, but it doesn't have to stay trash forever. Refusal of the call is also the rough draft and writing blues, also known as writer's block. Now, if you've experienced writer's block, you know that it is pretty relentless. Every hero along the journey will at some point refuse their call to adventure. That's why writer's block and discouragement come in. The moment that you believe that you can't be a writer is the moment that you have to say to yourself, you're not really set up to fail. I'm a firm believer that self-doubt is the biggest enemy to our creativity. Now, at this point, you might be saying something like, what if it's just the way I am? Or what if I suffer from anxiety or depression? But first off, you're not alone if you're asking those questions. In fact, I myself was asking the same questions when I was drafting Shael Rise of the Dragon Kingdoms, my own novel that was published not too long ago. So you may just need to meet with your mentor, which I talk about more in the next section. Sometimes this writer's block comes as a result of stress in your life. Sometimes it comes from lack of inspiration or your mental inspiration holding tank. The cure? Put your story away for a while. Carry a notebook everywhere you go. I really do mean everywhere. Do yourself a huge favor and invest in a good, durable notebook that is small enough to carry with you everywhere. It may be a physical notebook or an online notebook. You might even keep it in your Google Docs. It's whatever works for you. Alright, so when you're meeting your mentor, it's like, authors read and learn from each other. So you may want to think about someone who's positively impacted your life. It could be a teacher, a friend, a family member, maybe even a doctor. Who knows? All heroes need a mentor or teacher along their hero's journey. So those of us who are having self-doubts may even need some professional help. There's no shame in that. The most important thing I've gained from my struggle through learning disabilities is that you have to suck it up and ask for help sometimes. Yeah, it sucks, but it's the way life goes, and honestly, you're going to be really grateful when you finally do ask for help. For the rest of you, congratulations. You're reading this. You found a mentor in your writing process. Reading is one of the most powerful tools as an author. I didn't always believe this for myself. In fact, for a long time, I avoided reading. I hated it. However, I have been able to find the right tools that allow me to read, and it's less of a burden on me and much less of an insecurity. Now, crossing the threshold is much like committing to realistic goals. A hero's journey needs to cross the threshold in order to grow and continue in their journey. Usually, this also comes as they have to overcome guardians of the threshold. This is when you may find yourself holding back from writing and you have to work to overcome it. The best motivation for change is to set a realistic goal. Now, let's say that I want to be better at descriptive writing. I would need a goal to work on that every week. The test allies and enemies is really just learning from life. In a hero's journey, your protagonist needs to face challenges. They need to struggle. It's honestly what makes your book a bestseller. It's what makes your readers connect to you. The ordeal, death, and rebirth is a lot like editing your work. For many authors, the editing process is a bit scary, but something that doesn't have to be. At the end, I Call it the editing process in the hero's journey. It really is a death and rebirth of your story. It's like the phoenix of your story. It's the point when your character faces the biggest challenge, hits them at their weakest point, and then bam, like they come out of it like this amazing person. And returning home with the reward, your final draft is being polished. Your hero has learned from their journey, and you may have even learned from yours. So, what have you gained from the journey? Sometimes you won't receive recognition. It's the true writer that continues to write, whether or not there is rewarded publicity. So, keep on writing, guys. Over and out.